Hey everyone, this is Disc Junkie, and today I'm back in the DVD room. You know, it's been quite a long time since I made like an on-camera appearance, or you know, on camera, just me. And I'm sitting here in the DVD room, and I'm actually doing some reorganizing. So, well, as you can see here, I've pretty much, you know, laid out all my keep case editions, which used to be stored on like the bottom row here. I used to have like all my steel books were sitting on that shelf from like, yeah, basically from that row and just down to the bottom. But I figured I wanted to do something different with the steel books, so I've now completely emptied the steel books from there, and I've taken them and I've put them in alphabetized order right down here. So these are all my steel books, and well, here are some stuff that's just in the way. And the idea is basically that I will continue with my steelbooks in this shelf, which is not empty, but it's supposedly empty. And then towards the end there, you got some oddball tins like metal packs and just undefinable, strange tin cases. And then I've actually, if you take a look at the other part of the room, I used to have a bunch of digipacks up there, just those two rows. And so I've emptied those because I figured I want to do like display shelves more towards the ceiling, because basically if you look like the bottom shelves, you can't make displays there because they just don't show. I mean, people are gonna come in and be like, oh, what do you got down there? So that's not what I'm going for. I've decided to alphabetize these, putting them on the row here, which will be the second row. Now, the problem here is that all the digipack editions won't, you know, there won't be enough room on this side of the room. So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I will make like 2 rows, or maybe I will like fill up the second row there and just do like an all-round kind of thing. I'm not sure. If you're wondering what all of this is, I'm basically sitting like in a small fun house or some kind of, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here, but I'm reorganizing, and well, I'll be back in a little bit, and I mean, you won't know that I'm gone, but I'll be editing this, so yeah, I'll be back in a while to show you what actually happened when I was done or whatever. So yeah. Okay, let's see here. Hello. Alright, so I hope the focus is doing okay. I've switched over to different camera so I can shoot in fisheye mode. And I'm just gonna run this by you real quick. It's been about 1 week since I did the first section of this video, which you just saw, and my rearranging has turned into a clusterfuck. There's stuff everywhere. There's a baby crib, a fold-out bed. Not that we have a baby, but we had some friends over and they have a baby, so they stayed in here. And you know, that big shelf is empty right now, for the very simple reason that I had this box set, which some of you may know is the Disturbia Home Confinement box set. And when I was doing my rearranging about a week ago, I moved this from one of the top shelves, laid it on one of the bottom shelves just to get it out of the way because it wasn't fitting in. And you know, in this box set we actually have a can of Red Bull as part of a promotional gimmick thing, which wasn't open, and apparently it sprung a leak, so it started dripping, and most of it was soaked up by the cardboard box itself. But the rest sort of dripped onto the floor and was soaked up by the bottom board of that big white shelf. So that's what happened, and luckily, you know, no other box sets were damaged. Not to worry. So basically what I did, because I had to check the floor, because it's a wooden floor, so I had to make sure that there wasn't, you know, any kind of damage to the floor that I had to fix. So I moved the shelf away. You know, it was completely set up with this wonderful display, which I'm gonna have to redo now. And I brought in another shelf, which is identical, so that's the new shelf. And well, now I'm just gonna bring you in for the ride of seeing me put all this fucking mess together. So yeah, I guess I could have used the Red Bull now, because this is gonna take some time. But hope you like the fisheye mode, so I can bring everything in, and also I hope you like the next thing I'm doing here, which is Clockwork Orange mode. approximately 90 minutes worth of me walking around moving stuff, and now we're done. So yeah, hope you liked that, and well, there might be, you know, like a couple of small stuff that I need to still adjust, but I think I'm pretty much done here, and yeah, feels pretty good. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for, I guess, is that I'm gonna switch you over to this little fellow, and then we're gonna take a closer look around the room and see what I've done to the place. So yeah, let's go. This is the room as it looks now after all that time of moving stuff around. So, you know, I'm shooting this in widescreen due to the fisheye lens. It was sort of like the only option I had. So, you know, hopefully this will work out in terms of editing, but well, I think I'm gonna start over here. This entire half of the room has sort of inadvertently, I didn't really plan for it in the beginning, but then I sort of noticed it and just ran with it. So the sort of like the upper half of this room has sort of turned into an entire sort of sci-fi theme, which I think is pretty cool. And also what I tried to do is that I tried to sort of link the adjacent shelves to each other in terms of sort of like themes. Yeah, you're gonna see where I'm going with this, so just run with me. Up on the top shelf here we have the alien stuff, the quadrilogy head, the new alien egg, predator head, and then if we move down a bit we get to another alien shelf which features another quadrilogy, an old VHS box set, Alien vs Predator 2, the cool edition for the crappiest movie of all time. And then moving down, I'm actually gonna do this because I need to sort of explain a little. The shelf down here, the sort of middle shelf, is a director's shelf for Christopher Nolan. So these are all Christopher Nolan films, and then I've sort of continued with this theme, so then I have an Inception shelf here, which has like briefcase editions of Inception, some replica props of the totems, and moving up I've made a Dark Knight shelf which features some of my more, you know, exclusive Dark Knight sets. We got a replica knife there and a potato peeler knife. And then we also have some timetables like the Gotham City Ferry and the Gotham City Rail, the train system. So that's just a bit about Nolan and the alien stuff. And then on this side we have the Predator head, we have iRobot, you know, just a bunch of sort of sci-fi box sets, Superman, Phantasm Sphere, Planet of the Apes. And then I've sort of, you know, kept going, so I went Planet of the Apes, then I went King Kong, and Star Trek doesn't belong, but anyway, it's still sci-fi, so I didn't have a place to put it, so it ended up there. But then we also have King Kong, sort of moving down a bit. Then we have the Matrix ship, Japanese Blu-ray box set, the accompanying box set for that. And then there's also another box set which actually goes in the Matrix briefcase, which is hidden sort of behind there, but yeah. Just for sort of, you know, coherence, I wanted to put two boxes. Anyway. Then we get to a Blade Runner / Minority Report shelf. And you know, a lot of you have seen the Minority Report shelf I used to have, which was, you know, over on that side of the room. So I've sort of cramped that together and split it with the Blade Runner sets. I don't have many. Then I also have here a small pre-cog ball replica with a little plaque there. It's a fan-made replica, by the way. And then we have the 3 press kits, the US, the I don't know where, and the UK one. And then of course there are some versions of the movie here. Over here then we have beneath King Kong we get to a District 9 shelf which has, you know, 3 editions of the movie. And then I've put some Watchmen stuff here, and we all got Wall-E. I mean, it's a bit sci-fi, not really sci-fi, but still sci-fi. Then we get to sort of, this is sort of where the the line goes. So now we're switching over from sci-fi to whatever, and it ended up being a Glorious Bastards shelf right here, which is both the original old Italian movie, which I just put here because it's a cool box set and I don't have another good place to put it, so it became sort of a combo shelf for the two movies, even though I only own that one of the old version. Then we have Kill Bill 1 and 2. Figured I would just, you know, sort of link them as it's a Tarantino movie, and, you know, sort of, yeah. Then we have a John Wick Park shelf featuring some Old Boy box sets. Then we have the Vengeance trilogy behind it. You know, it's not very fun box set to display, so I just keep it behind there in case I want to take it out someday. Some other Korean box sets, a couple of Korean movies, weird Brazilian box set, right? Whatever. Let's see, here are just some odd box sets that are too big for any other shelf and ended up here. And then we have some box sets which are slightly too high for the sort of standard height here, so they had to go in this slightly higher section, so that's the only reason why they're here. They don't have anything in common. Then we have some plastic cases, various releases with, you know, plastic slipcases or plastic box sets. A couple of Gilliam films here in plastic cases, and then of course we got Brazil, also Gilliam plastic. Yeah, you get the link there. And this entire tower here is just, you know, all sci-fi, various movies in the sci-fi category. And then we get down here, we have all of my keepcase editions, which are just, you know, arranged alphabetically. And then there's a white shoebox there with some stuff, I think. And then for this part we have a bunch of sets which don't really have a good place, but I still wanted to keep them sort of separate for one reason or another. There are some like bitter films, wonderful animated stuff, which I have 4 DVDs of that, so wanted to put those together. And then we have 3 editions of Wolf Creek. I plan to maybe do a Wolf Creek shelf in the future. And yeah, then we just got some odd box sets which I haven't really found a good place for, so yeah, pretty much it for that. Then we got my standard Blu-ray keep cases. Not too many of those, but I would put those together. My old NES games. Some games here. I also have another stack behind it. And of course my NES console. Don't really play it, but, you know, can't get rid of it. It's, you know, it's part of our history, so yeah, respect it. And last shelf here we have sort of like TV series, Seinfeld, Friends, Futurama, Family Guy and some stuff, Mad Men, and there's the last row of keep cases. So that's pretty much it for this side of the room. So now I'm gonna inch my way over here. God. And I can just, I don't know, I can just start at the bottom here. No, I'm gonna start at the top. I don't know. I'm getting on my feet. Alright. So from the top here we have a shelf. We got some lock stock. Got the Bond briefcase in the background there. Got Snatch, Beverly Hills Cop. And we have my Usual Suspects shelf, still intact. My Dexter shelf, which is looking pretty fucking cool. Got my authentic prop replica Ice Truck Killer doll. My 2 Blood Slides box sets. The Season 5 replica, handmade by the same guy who made the actual boxes for Season 5. Then we have the Natural Born Killers shelf. The sunglasses, I don't know why they ended up there, they just did. Got nothing to do with movies. Then we have another director's shelf, which is the David Lynch shelf. This actually used to be here, and it's one of the few shelves that's remained in the same place. And then we have all of my digipacks / keep cases in slip cases. So these are also arranged alphabetically now. So we have like a whole bunch of stuff here from A to G there, and moving down a shelf. It continues from G over to like maybe S, I think. And then the alphabet continues, surprise, up here, and runs from S to Z. And you know, it's not a lot of movies. So that's that. And then the last shelf down here is my steel books, which I showed you in the beginning of the video segment. Also arranged alphabetically now. And the plan is to sort of keep the steel books going, so I do have a shelf down here which is sort of planned for it. And then we also have some odd steel books and tin cases and whatnot over here. So the entire bottom row here will be like tin sets, steel books, steel cases, metal packs, iron packs, you know, what have you. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea. And then the next shelf over, there's still a shelf missing here in the space there. Up here we got, like, you know, this isn't exactly sorted so much. We got a 300 set, Battlefield documentary series ammo box set, and then we have sort of like a, you know, I've got a coffin box there, and then I have another coffin box and a small coffin box. So, you know, it sort of became like a theme there, sort of horror coffin boxes, but still fun, humor, I don't know. And moving down a bit, we get to the infamous Texas Chainsaw shelf, which is looking so fucking good. I'm so happy with this. And then I've actually expanded this, so I go from Texas Chainsaw, there's another edition of Texas Chainsaw there in the corner, and then I move on to the remake. So now I have a remake shelf and I have the original Texas Chainsaw shelf. So that's pretty cool. And then below it we get to a blood shelf, or sort of blood horror cannibalism stuff. So it's basically a lot of blood promotional items, you know, crew blood, got a blood bag, blood spattered funnel thing, Talk-This Blood Bank box set, just a bunch of stuff dealing with blood and blood related, you know, long pigs, got the beef jerky here and stuff, and then seamlessly link it together with Red Dragon, you know, Hannibal, cannibal theme there. And over on this side I also have my, what do you call them, macabre sort of snow globes, with like the mist that has like little spiders in it, and the sort of two Fargo box sets, one with the blood snow and then the Halloween one, old VHS boxes with blood and stuff. And then we move on, we get to the retro shelf, which used to be on that side of the room, but I moved it sort of intact. And you know, it's a little bit out of place, but I still like it. Then in the middle there we have National Treasures and Da Vinci Code, and I think those movies are very much in the same style as like Indiana Jones. They make me think of Indiana Jones. So then I seamlessly move on and I have an Indiana Jones shelf, slash mummy shelf. I don't like those movies, but I have the box set and I can't get rid of it. So yeah, so then we got the Indiana Jones trilogy, some Indiana Jones sets, and the mummy set there. And moving down over here we have the David Fincher shelf, also still intact. Bunch of Fincher stuff, and we got Brokeback Mountain and an Office Space shelf. A bit, you know, cramped, but still. And moving down we get to a Danny Boyle shelf, which used to be on another different place before, but now it's over here. We got Shawshank Redemption. Over here we have the end of the digipack alphabet thing. And then down here we get to Austin Powers, and at the end of the line we have a couple of odd cases. Very few snap cases that I own, and also some of these sort of old super jewel case releases, which are kind of hard to find these days. Whew, holy shit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm feeling pretty good about this whole rearrangement. Laserdisc shelves sort of stay the same. I haven't really done anything there, and well, a lot of stuff on that table there now, but yeah. So that's it for me today. Really hope you enjoyed this update. I might get into doing detailed stuff, updates of the display shelves, but yeah, this is your you know, sort of new overview video. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you all next time.